When COVID came, we could only leave once a week, could only be gone for 4 hours. Run into town, get your supplies, and get right back. Only one person per family. When our cultural leader was telling us, don't have anxiety. Everything we need is right here. Our pharmacy, our pantry, everything is here.
When I look back at the past, I think everybody knew how to forage and how to gather foods and medicines. It was something that might have been taught in the schools then and really isn't so much anymore, but certainly was going to be taught in the household and was passed down through oral tradition among families, among communities.
Yeah, it wasn't always that we grew food for money. We didn't have the grocery store, right? So how do we preserve these traditional foods but also make them freely available because they were never meant for sale?
There's like this weird pride and sorrow of being one of the last hunters in my family. I've been lucky enough to hunt my entire life, fish, trap. My grandma's taught me how to tan hides.
My ancestors, after millennia of living on the land as it evolved and changed, knew the seasons, they knew the places, and they knew the times where to gather things that were needed for the year or for daily consumption.
The key message is really looking to our knowledge keepers and our elders to bring back a lot of those historical teachings, historical knowledge ways to protect our medicines, our territories, and our families and our communities.
So we started thinking about the antidepressants, the anti-anxiety, the nutrition that was already here all this time. We had to go back and remind ourselves.
Everything that we need is right there, in nature. So we have used the hierbas, we call them hierbas, all of the sacred hierbas, that the knowledge that I received from my grandmother. Eucalypto, which is the eucalyptus, which we use for sore throats. Gone like that. My daughters now have taken that knowledge and they're making modern medicine.
And the future is my kids. Being a mom inspired me. I wanted them to reconnect. So what I want my kids to learn is, how to relate to the land. And I know that they learn best by watching. And I want them to see how I do it and they can imitate that. And they're really excited. I always tell them, this fruit used to be a flower. And that's really amazing to watch a flower turn to fruit, to food. They participate.
In Pelican Lake First Nation, they've accessed funding to have a 2-week youth camp where they bring the youth out on the land, teach them about harvesting medicines and plants and just bringing people on the land.
I was asked to talk about what was then and what is now. We didn't have college classes around food sovereignty and food security. We didn't have those programs. We didn't have community gardens on our reservations like we did in the last few years now. So there's a lot of things that have moved forward from those times. And so I'm really excited to see, this next generation of innovation and innovators.
So the opportunities are with new collaborations and partnerships with landowners and others who would open up access to resources that may have been restricted before, such as national parks and refuges or private landholding. So there's an opportunity there. The challenge for us is having the ability to have those opening conversations and to have others understand the sustenance practices that many of which were guaranteed in treaties. So honoring those kinds of treaty-protected practices.
We and other organizations hope to open up our grounds in appropriate ways that foraging can happen there, and to teach people to be more careful as they get out into nature, and not to misidentify a plant, not to use a plant in the wrong way, not to over-harvest or unsustainably damage a plant population. And so we really have a large education to do of ourselves and in our communities, that people don't put themselves at risk, don't put the plants at risk, and of course don't violate legal policies and laws.
So this is the work of our time, And no one is better placed to do the work of rewilding than the knowledge holders, the spiritual holders of the land. They need to lead this. And nothing could be more important.